Hello and welcome to another video from Lotus Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we're looking at something that is now quite old. These models have become very collectible and are now becoming more and more difficult to find, especially in this mint sealed unused condition. We are looking at the 2000 release by Corgi from the Definitive Bond Collection series of 136 scale die-cast models. And they were all iconic vehicles that were used in the James Bond films. And this particular one we're looking at today is of the Lotus Esprit underwater submarine car, which appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me. Now, Spy Who Loved Me was the 10th movie in the James Bond franchise, which was produced by Eon Productions. And it was the third movie to star Roger Moore as the secret agent James Bond 007. And it also starred Barbara Batch and Kurt Juggins. And it was released in July 1977, I believe. And it ran for just over 2 hours, I think 125 minutes. Little bit of trivia. It cost $13.5 million to make, and it netted at the box office $185.4 million. Yeah, and for me, it was one of my favourite James Bond films because it was I think one of the first ones that I was taken to the cinema to see with my dad back in 1977. And it always struck me as being one of the best Bond films up until, or certainly the best Bond film of the Roger Moore era. Anyway, let's not digress too much. Let's have a look at this particular item. So this is the box it comes in, and it says 007, the Definitive Bond Collection, and you've got an image there of Roger Moore's face as he was when he played James Bond in The Spy Who Loved Me. It says The Spy Who Loved Me 007. And you've got the Corgi logo at the bottom, and it's item number 65002, and it says Lotus Esprit. And just next to that, you've got a artwork image of Barbara Batch as she appeared in the movie. Okay, that's the front of the box. If I just turn the box to the side, we have got 65002, Lotus Esprit, Spy Who Loved Me 007 and Corgi, and there's a artwork image of Roger Moore as James Bond. And on the other side, again, 65002, Lotus Esprit, the Spy Who Loved Me 007 and the Corgi logo again, and there is a photograph image of Roger Moore as James Bond. And if I turn the box to the back, this is what is on the back, and it says 007, the Definitive Bond Collection, the Spy Who Loved Me. This time, the villain is the power-crazy Stromberg. Aided by his sidekick Jaws, he intends to dominate the world from his underwater base, Atlantis. Possibly the most spectacular of all the Roger Moore James Bond films. The fast-packed action makes us, or takes us on a thrill-a-minute chase around the globe. Finally, 007, with the help of the US Navy, averts World War III by destroying Stromberg with his own nuclear missiles and sends him to a watery grave. It says the Lotus Esprit, armed with harpoon guns, cement gun. Oh, what a cement gun is. Underwater mines, land-to-air missiles, and an oil slick dispenser, Bond's new Lotus performs admirably during a deadly car and cat and mouse chase with a helicopter high up in the Sardinian mountains. Just when he thinks he has dispensed with the pursuing villains is forced off the road and into the sea. But not to worry, at the flick of a switch, his sleek supercar turns into an underwater submersible, much to the surprise of the female passenger, the gorgeous Amasnova, which was, of course, Barbara Batch. And then you've got the Corgi logo at the bottom there and the image of Bond in his commander's outfit. Okay, that is the box. What we're going to do now is we're going to open the box up, we're going to take the model out, and we're going to have a look at it outside of the box. Okay, so I've removed the model from the box, and this is what we've got. Now I can't take it off of the plinth because it's all still strapped up on the bottom, and you've also got the strap running around the top there. However, I'm going to try and, if yeah, it's strapped up, so I can't actually press anything into to release the fins. That's what I wanted to do, to release the fins. And there's the button there. Actually, I think that's, yeah, okay, so that's a button. I think that's a button to fire the missiles. And right, okay. So we've got the button on the front there, I think, which releases the fins, I believe. I'll tell you what, let's have a look at what the instructions say, because the instructions are in this file. It says operating instructions. So push to release the fins. Let's just zoom in on that so we can have a little bit of a better view. So it says push to release the fins. So that's the button on the roof by the looks of it. So the button on the roof, I can't move it because it's got the strapping over it and it's preventing it from being moved, hence the reason why I can't get the fins out. And the button there, this one that I'm pressing, does actually release the missiles which you get in this pack. So you push them into the back of the car, just where my finger is. They lock in, and then you press the button on the front, and that fires the missiles up and out. So it says fires 4 surface-to-air missiles, push back to reload, and then push to release the fins. So that is the button there to release the fins. So you slide it all the way back, and the fins pop out. So I can't do that because it is actually strapped in, and it won't move because that strapping is holding it into position. Okay, so that is the operating instructions. You also get this card on the back which gives you all the models in the Definitive Collection series, and I don't know how many there are in total. I think there was about 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 13 or 14 that shows you on here. But it gives you all the list of the ones. I don't know if I can, maybe I can just squeeze, yes, okay. So I've pulled the tape back. I just want to pull this out and see which ones are in the series here, without doing too much or any damage to, there we go. So you've got the Aston Martin DB5, you've got the Aston Martin Volanto, you've got the BMW 750i, BMW Z8, BMW Z3, you've got the Gyrocopter, the Lotus Esprit, which is what this one is. Then you've got the Lotus Esprit Turbo, the Mercedes Saloon, the Mustang Mach-1, and the Toyota 2000 GT. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 models in the series up to that point when this particular one was released. And on the back it says the Definitive Bond Collection. Since first launching the Aston Martin DB5 in 1965, Corgi Classics has become synonymous with James Bond replicas die-cast vehicles. Now you can collect the new series of James Bond vehicles shown overlays from what is intended to become the Definitive Bond Collection. And it did become the Definitive Bond Collection. Okay, so that is the information there, and as I say, there's a packet of ground-to-air missiles that slot into the back of the vehicle. So let's have a good look at the vehicle, and there we have this lovely Lotus, and it is such a shame that I cannot, I'm only getting it halfway back, so the car actually does need to come off the plinth in order for me to get the fins to come out. So I can't take it off. We're not going to be able to look at the fins popping out. But basically the back pops out, the rudders pop out the back, and the fins come out of the side. And the same thing with the surface to air missiles. You pop the missile in and then you press the button just there, and the missiles fire up. They're spring loaded, so they push in, they lock into position, and then you press a button and they fire. Okay, let's get some sizes. So the size of this die-cast model, we're looking at about 11 centimeters in length, I would say. Maybe, no, 12 centimeters in length, that is. If we measure across the top of the roof, we're looking at 5 centimeters. And if we measure the height of the model from the bottom of the wheel to the top of the fin, you're looking at about 3.5 centimeters. Now, it is a 1/36 scale. Now, it is all die-cast metal on the top and the bottom. Plastic parts, obviously the windows. You've got the back rudder at the back, and you've got the fins. They're all plastic, and the front grille is plastic. Other than that, obviously the buttons are plastic as well. Other than that, the rest of it is metal. The back bumpers are plastic as well. So the actual chassis of the whole model is metal, and the rest of it is plastic. But again, it's such an iconic model, and it's got the 007 logo on the bonnet, and PPW 308F is the registration number, and I think it's the same on yeah, so it's, sorry, 3008R, not F, and it's the same on both front and back. So there we have it. That is the Lotus Esprit underwater submarine from The Spy Who Loved Me, and it is one of my all-time favorite vehicles also, probably because it was one of my all-time favorite films, and it's had a lot of sentimental value for me because it was one of the first Bond film that me and my dad went to see together. First one he took me to see when I was quite a young lad. But there we go. So that is the model. Now, how well did these do back in 2000? Well, like all the Bond vehicles, they do exceptionally well. There's no denying that. Corgi they do have a tendency to re-release them, rebrand the cars and re-release them in different series. So we were looking at the definitive series at the moment, and these are the 1/36 scales. All of them were 1/36 scale models, so they're all about the same size. But I'm sure I think they've been released after this as well under a different release program, and they may well have even been released prior to this definitive collection coming out. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know they do have a tendency to, every so often, they come up with a new series and they re-release a lot of the models that they still have, or they still have the molds to make, so they make more and put them out under a different collection. So, but it's Corgi, it's Bond, of course it's going to sell. Collectors will buy anything to do with Bond, so no matter what the series is, even if you've got it from a different series, they'll still buy another one, because it's all part of their collection, and they strive to have every Bond car that have been released in the collection, which is, it's not a bad thing, it's a great thing, I think. I've got an awful lot of Bond cars in my own collection, multiples of the same vehicle, just in different collections. So but yeah, it is all of these models are just fantastic. You just can't not have them. You know, if you're a collector, you just cannot have them. They are so good. So yes, the quantities were released. They were obviously all limited run again. They worked out what they was going to do. They produced the quantity, sold them, moved on to the next model, and that whole collection became the definitive collection. Okay, let's move forward 25 years to 2025, which is where we are today. How often do these vehicles come up often on the platforms, I hear you ask? Yes, they do pop up from time to time, some more than others. So I presume that either I think it's the least popular ones that we do see, or it's one or two, either the least popular ones, or it's the ones where the bigger quantities were produced. So for example, I'm sure the Spy Who Loved Me would have had an awful lot of volume produced, because it was such an iconic car, and it was one of the best Bond films, or certainly the best of the Roger Moore era. and so on, and it has had a massive following, and the car was a massive icon. So but having said that, I haven't seen so many of these on the platforms. I did have a quick look. I did find a few. There's a lot of loose ones, an awful lot of loose ones, but whether they're from the same collection or not, I'm not 100% sure about that. But there's a lot of loose. If you just want a loose car with no accessories and no instructions and without the box, then you can pick them up on the platforms fairly easily. However, if you want a complete one like this one with all the missiles still attached, with it still attached to the box, and mint condition in the box unopened, then they're not as easy to find on the platforms as you would think. And also, if you are going to order on a platform, be careful, because a lot of them use stock photographs, and if there isn't a new one available, they automatically go to the used one, the cheapest used one. So what you actually think you may be ordering is not necessarily what you're going to get. So always do be very careful and make sure you click the used icon if it says used, and have a good look at the description and the images that they're providing. Otherwise, you may think you're getting an item like this, but you may just get a used car. Now, however, we do not use stock photographs on our website. What you see on our website is exactly the items that you will be receiving. And this particular item, well, just a little bit of background on these items. We bought a load of stock out from a closed down shop, and in their stock room was a whole case of these definitive Bond collection. So we do have multiples of these vehicles, several different ones, or whatever was in the case. I think there was 20 models in the case, so all 20 we do have. So we've got a couple extra of some. There's some we're missing, but we do have most of them, because at the time, obviously at the time when this case came out, not all of the models in this series were available. But there was a whole case of 20, so we have 20 different models from this definitive collection that are now currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website. And you can get there just as you can to, if you'd like to buy this one, you can get there very simply by clicking the link below, and it will take you straight to the website, or you'll be able to find this and many other vintage James Bond items and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful James Bond Lotus underwater submarine Esprit turbo motor car with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.